चालू कर ले।
हाँ ओके
बकैती कर लो तुम लोग।
हाँ वही। इसका रील बना देंगे ना भाई, टेंशन नहीं है।
इसलिए मैं पॉज लेगा ओके Hello guys, welcome to Beyond Injury Time, where we have representation from Spurs, Arsenal, and Liverpool. All three of us, we laugh at United at the start when they spend a lot and do not do anything with it. And then at the end of the season, United fans laugh at Arsenal or Liverpool for bottling the league to Man City again. So here we have a game week where
You,
Arsenal was completely
you have
on the high
accepted defeat.
horses. All their fans believed that they were going to probably win the league or whatever. Like every Arsenal fan I see is completely confident about the league, and then they go to Aston Villa and completely botch it up.
Not go to Aston Villa, in their
Oh,
home
sorry. Oh,
ground,
in their home.
Emirates.
Oh, yes,
Yes,
sorry,
Oh
sorry.
my
that.
At their,
God.
at they host Aston Villa and at the Emirates, by the way,
At
the fortress.
the Emirates.
Yeah,
The Anfield also. We'll come to that later.
welcome to that.
This season is the Emirates. भाई वो
Yeah,
Emirates
yeah.
आ रहे हैं, अपन तो पेल देंगे
We
उनको.
अपन the pale thing.
Yeah.
Yes. So they hosted Villa, and I'm pretty sure I'm very sure that they were confident because Villa, I think they were facing their injuries of their own. But yeah, it did not work out for them, and somehow I felt like that Arsenal was keeping that draw alive, and then this lost it at the last 10 minutes. And I have so many questions to Abhay about this, but I think I'll start with how does it look for that title race of yours, man?
Wipe check, bro.
Title race.
Yeah, the title
What
race,
is that?
where you were
We were never
at
in
the
it.
top. I remember last
We
week
were
where
never
you
in it.
reminded me that you were at the top. So I just
Yeah.
want to know how, where are you now?
No. On a very serious note, maybe I'm an optimist. I still think not every team, but I think Liverpool and Arsenal both will get one chance at it. It's whether we can take it.
Mm-hmm.
I know City's had this history of just bulldozing teams at the fag end of the season, and to be fair, the fixture list is very ripe for them. But I still believe even if they get a draw somewhere, there's a chance that we can bounce on it. But and Arsenal's fixture list is not good. It was never that good. I mean, we shouldn't have been in this position. As in, if you're trying to compete for the title, you should not be in this position. When you have the easier fixtures, that's when you're supposed to win, and we didn't do that. And it was gutting. I'll say, nonetheless, it was gutting. Even though when I was looking at the fixture list before the match, I was like, "Oh, this looks really tough." But as a fan, you're like, you kind of dream, and I was dreaming too. And to be fair, even right now, when it looks, even if there's like 5% hope, I'm going to dream, and I'm still dreaming. Though it was a gutting punch and like at this point of time, I'm a little calmer, but at that point of time, I was like, oh my God, what is happening against Aston Villa is good team, all right, and the position says it, but you're on top of the league. You can go to top of the league, and this is what you do.
And
this
even
hard
when
thing,
Unai Emery's homecoming is like jale pe namak, no?
So
Yes.
he's like he did a good evening on us, man.
Good evening.
You know why I'm smiling? You know why I'm smiling? I can see the hope in his eyes because like you have not lost that title by a single point, right? So I can see that you have that hope that maybe Man City will drop that 1 point.
Man City will drop that 1 point, but can you win all the rest?
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. I do agree to that, and it's not a nice thing to say, but I do think there might be a mentality issue also. No, not just with the squad. My issue is that it might be with the manager as well. As in, tactically is very astute, amazing, and whatnot. But I've seen at some of the biggest stages, he's fumbled with his selection, and his choice
Champions League.
to what? Come again?
Champions League.
No, forget Champions League. Even in Europe, like Europa League, when we were in, he's taken certain decisions wherein he's kept faith in certain players, and he keeps faith in them unless and until he's hit so hard, wherein he's like, "No, I just want them out of the club." I think
Mm.
Zinchenko is one such man, but that's maybe we'll talk about that a little later.
Yeah,
At
I
this
mean,
point of time,
You
but
know,
to
I
be
feel
honest,
like
to be honest with you, when I looked at your fixture list, I personally felt that Villa were the team that could beat you because I knew for a fact that they'll drop deep, and I still keep feeling that even in the Champions League game, I told you, right, you're going to have a tough tough fixture in Porto because they sit deep. The teams that are a little compact. So Villa could hit you on the counter. Watkins is in top-notch form. So and that fear came true. I actually think the other three fixtures, the other three so-called top six that teams that you have, right? Spurs, Chelsea, and United. These three are winnable fixtures for you, my friend. Seriously speaking.
no, but
These three
No,
are
wait.
winnable fixtures for you
No,
than the
wait.
Aston Villa game.
no,
That's just my opinion.
yeah, I understand that's your opinion, but what I'm trying to say is if you're competing for the title, which we were and which we still are, it's not a good look if you have 1 point out of 12 points against an Aston Villa and Fulham. It's just not it. It's just not it.
That
It's
is,
mm,
not taking.
Aston Villa
yeah.
did a double on them.
And
I just
also another thing, when you were
mm,
saying that they were, you thought that it would be a bit tough. Honestly speaking, the amount of chances we created in the first half, and it's actually shameful that we didn't come out with 2 goals. Absolutely shameful, shambolic from our attackers out there, right? It's not like they defended deep or something. Even if they did, we opened them up, we carved them open. Odegaard was having the time of his life in the first half. We did not take up our chances, and as soon as the second half comes, it's
He's taken off, I guess.
it's taken off. And okay, I have a big problem with a few players because they had a bit of air of overconfidence, right? And that is my biggest gripe. The second gripe I had was the fact that there's something that is working, all right, and your team is doing well. Why would you change that? Why would you change that? And that's what I have a big problem with Arteta on that. If something is winning and you're doing well and it's working, why would you change that? And I was so pissed when I saw it. And right now also, like I thought I would be calm, but my head is steaming, man. It's steaming. Like
But
how
do
do
you
you lose
think
that?
I'll just be
do you
honest,
think Pep is a overthinker like Arteta? I mean, do you think
I,
Arteta is a
I,
overthinker like
I
Pep
think it's the other
was?
way around.
Underthinker.
Pep is the overthinker and Arteta is like, oh, you know what? Even I could do this. And
मेरे को
it's
खुद
like,
सेक्सी करने का है
yeah, but
No, I was reading somewhere around that also that they have basically what Arteta had in mind, or maybe he's an overthinker, but what he did was like playing Howard's probably on the cam role that he might have been contesting. It was working, but I believe based on the high line that Aston Villa plays with, it will actually help you with someone making those late runs, right? Not getting offside because they do offside trap properly, and probably that was the tactic of Arteta to beat them.
yeah. And Howards did get his chances, but you got to understand he's Kai Howards. He's
Howard.
not a great finisher. Do you understand that? He makes
God
great runs.
understand it's Kai Havertz man मुझे
He
इतना
makes
seriously
runs.
बोला
Technically,
He
na
makes
Howard,
the
Nunez.
smartest runs in the team, and he probably one of the smartest runs in the Premier League. I would go as far as to say that in the positions he gets into. But bro, I have zero confidence when it's a one-on-one. I have more confidence when it's a one-on-one and there's an Arsenal player next to him. He will hit, it will rebound, and the Arsenal player will get the goal. Right? Please
Or
do not
else he
laugh
will
like
get a
that because
corner.
that's how they scored against Liverpool. Anyways,
yes.
anyways, but what I'm trying to say is when you have been winning so many matches as him playing as your false nine, and it is working, and he can still make those runs even if he's a forward. Do you understand?
Correct.
I understand. And we realized again, we relied on Zinchenko making long balls, whose balls were not quality as it is. The runs
So
were
balls
better.
are not quality. We should know.
Are we talking about football right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, okay. If I could, oh, this is going to come out so bad. I so wish, even if it hurt Zinchenko's balls, he shouldn't be on the pitch, man. He shouldn't have been on the pitch, man. It was pathetic. It was pathetic. And I think a lot of this has to do with favoritism, as in Arteta's favoritism, because Kiwior just had one bad game against Bayern, and this is how he just removed him.
Maybe
And
he's
he-
saving him for the next leg of Iron Ban.
Bro, I mean that's a way to look at it. But Kiwior was not injured, and he had a lot. Like he is one of those players whose season actually started in January or midway through January. It's just that certain players he has more faith in, and one of them is Gabriel Jesus, right? And one of them, the other is Zinchenko, because probably he's seen his time in City, but I do not know what he's seen, because last time he had the highest faith in Rob Holding and Ramsdale, and now they're going to be out of the door. So I'm hoping that Zinchenko goes out of the door.
But do you get a feeling? Maybe Joekar has a question before I go. And did you have anything to ask him?
I'm just thinking, I was just thinking that you're being too critical of Arteta, actually, Just think about this in a particular way. He's completely following the DNA of Arsenal. Arsenal doesn't like Europe. Arteta also doesn't like Europe. So in that way, it is basically in line with the philosophy of Arsenal, Let's do absolute shit in Europe, and then we can maybe do something about it in league or something like that.
But
No,
then
but,
he
but,
stayed
but,
in
but
league
that's what
also.
I'm coming at. We were talking about Aston Villa. It was in the league. In Europe,
I
would
know.
still
No,
understand.
I was saying that you are being too critical of him in about like the way he plays in Europe. I feel like he plays exactly how Arsenal wants to play in Europe.
No,
Not good.
I think, I mean, it's kind of funny how you're so snobbish right now, considering you gave 3 goals to Atlanta at Anfield and
Yeah, but
3 for
like we
Clanfield,
have
if you
six
would like to
Champions League,
call
man.
it.
I don't give two fucks about it.
Of course you don't.
I
Of
can
course.
I can brag. See,
Trent
when it comes to
Alexander
Champions
does.
League,
To lose
2
when
months
it
ago, he
came
was
to
winning the quadruple
No,
with
no,
Liverpool.
no,
Right?
when
Because,
it
against
comes to
Liverpool is like,
Champions League, we have
if you're
so
winning,
much that I
if
can
you're
brag
winning the
about it
cup,
for
it
some
matters.
time.
bro,
If you're winning the
that's
cup,
like
it matters.
United bragging about their past. You got to live in the future in the
It's
present
it's
point of
not.
time.
See, like I
Uh,
understand that our very like the first past is still a lot more present than anything that you have won. But we have won like 3 years back, man. 3 or 4 years back. So it's not that big of a
no,
past.
so
Anyway, it was I was
okay,
not
okay.
going to
I
focus on
think
that. It was a different tangent at all,
now that we are
actually.
here, so at the end of
वो तो
Klopp's
बोलेगा भाई.
tenure, now at the end of Klopp's tenure,
Yeah.
so you're like, okay, one Champions League,
छेड़
one
दिया
Premier
रे,
League,
छेड़ दिया.
without fans and Liverpool in its prime.
Dude, if I'm telling you, you're going on record while you're saying without fans. Don't go like that. People are going to call you stupid. That was not a COVID season. You can talk like that on Twitter because nobody says anything. But this is on record, okay?
That's all right.
Okay,
That's
okay,
all
fine.
right.
Like I told you already
Yeah,
that this is on record. Okay,
but
fine.
I'm
Go
just
ahead.
saying, at the end of the day, it's 2 titles,
Yeah.
two big titles
See, at
in 9
the end
years.
of the day, at the end of the day, Klopp won every title that was possible for him to win at least once. Okay, you're going to compete with Man City for the rest of. Let's just say that Liverpool is out of it, and you are at the after 5 years of Arteta, you're finally actually there to compete. Compete with Man City, and we'll talk about it. At least win once, and then you can brag all you want. You can say, okay, Klopp won just once in 9 years. Arteta hasn't won
But that is
even
not
one
But
the
major
yeah,
trophy in last 5 years. So let's not
It
talk
is
about
not the
that.
DNA.
Yeah, but I never said Arteta is the greatest manager alive. I never said he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
This is the finest season Arsenal is having. This is
No,
the best
because
Arsenal ever played.
obviously,
Please,
because
please
you are
listen to
not
me.
this is not the best season you're having, and Arteta is not one of the best managers in the world. You cannot say that because he's not. I
You're
can say
saying that
that.
the best
he
manager
has never
in the
said that.
world,
That's what
the
he's
best
claiming.
manager in the world came to your club, made the
Hmm.
best team in the world,
Hmm.
and you have 2 titles to show for it.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Against the cheating Man City. I know it's
115
difficult,
charges.
man. It's difficult. What can I say? It is
There
difficult.
again, 115 charges.
Okay.
Okay,
Whatever,
anyway,
let's just
we
try
have
to cut it off.
we have gone
Just
off
like to
topic
cut it
actually,
off.
so I'll bring us back.
Yeah, I would like to ask a question, which
Yeah.
why did I even open the floor for you to go? So I would like to ask the question. I mean, on a serious note, do you get that feeling? Did you get that feeling from Arteta that he thinks Champions League is more attainable than the Premier League right now?
No, I think he went for the league, right? He was trying to go for the league. I just think that he overthinked it, right?
Hmm.
Firstly, and Secondly, I've seen this with Arteta, even the last season and the season before. He has this things. You got to understand this is his first job, right? And uh, and it's not nice that it's at Arsenal. That's what I thought at first, but I also saw the leaps and bounds where we have come up, right? And so certain amount of, let's just say, onus should also go on the players. You're on the field, right? And you have a certain level, at least maintain that, right? At least maintain that. You can't be giving balls away so cheaply, playing so easy, right? And you only come into your fifth gear or the sixth gear when 70 minutes hit. What are you doing before that? Why aren't you trying more at that? So when I look at this team, right, I still believe there are certain characters who just are like, okay, this is just another game. They come out and they say in the press conferences, we have so many finals, we have got six finals, seven finals left, but they don't play like it. And I'll keep on saying about Arteta, about him not making substitutions, but I'll also say this, that he's man enough to come in front of the people and he say, and when people question him, why did you play this player? Why did you play that player? He says, because I'm the manager. It was on me.
Okay.
And that's something I can still take pride in. And the fact that he's trying to compete. He's not one of those who's like, oh, they have a superior team, so we cannot compete. We do compete. And for that, I'm grateful.
I have to give, on a serious note, you have to give credit where it is due.
Yeah.
Arsenal, if you just look at the squad, Arsenal has a really good 11, but the depth is it was always going to be an issue in this particular season. It's a big season. They are deep into Champions League, and you can say that okay, the players are not performing at the highest level possible. But see, the fatigue at one point does come into play. I don't know how much of it is played by fatigue, but man, you have a top 11, and for that top 11 to perform week after week after week at the highest level is a little bit difficult. I want to quickly talk about the 2 goals that you considered at the end. Did you think what do you think about those goals? Were they unnecessary?
About the goals, I would say that I would say they were good goals. Actually, they were good goals, and I think
proper finishes.
I would say that actually speaking, Aston Villa could have scored earlier. I mean, we could. The chances we had were in the first half, right? Second half, it was shambolic what we did, and Aston Villa deserved it. The win, they deserved it. It wasn't not like, luckily they won. They won it because they were on the pitch. They wanted it more. They fought for it. They fought for it more, and they got it. But before I cut it off, I would also like to say that Aston Villa has a good squad with good players.
True.
Just because it's the team, that doesn't mean it's not the big six or something. It does not have good players, right? It has really good players, and I understood one more fault, that most of the times when teams have won the leagues, they have got pace up front, and we lack that. We lack that. All the teams that you can see, at least in the Premier League, they have pace in the wings or in the forward line, at least 2 pacey players, and we lack that. And that's a big fault on our recruitment, I would say.
Okay.
But I think many times previously we have pointed out one thing, which that Arsenal has been scoring a lot of early goals in their matches, right? And one question that we asked you was that if someday a team do a proper defending and you do not get a goal for good 60-65 minutes, then will your player show the character? And I believe that's the exact example that we were quoting, that this is going to happen. To which your answer was that we will always.
Good note.
I think we talked about it in Porto game as well as a possibility, but yeah, good.
But
yeah, he dug really deep to come up with that question.
I understand that, but I think it's more of a witch hunt, because you need to understand what we have done in this year, in 2024 from the start. This is the first match that we have lost. Right, this is the first match we have lost in the Premier League. Right, this is the first, and we have done a great job of being here, and more than that,
at home, right?
Huh?
At home.
No, this year they haven't lost the game.
This year. No. This year. Till November, December, we were in the dumps, bro. It was like
top 4 run.
फिर तो ऐसा हो जाता ना, title हार गए but invincible until end of the season.
No. But I mean, you can laugh about it, but you have to understand how the team is like the team dug in and then it came back,
Yeah,
right? So
true.
at that point of time, everybody was like, same old Arsenal, same old Arsenal. And even at this point of time, I'm not saying we'll win the league or whatever. I mean, that's far off, but I'm saying there is still a chance that we can fight. At this point
Okay.
of time, last year we were out. We're
Yeah.
out. There's no chance.
Maybe you are
And
taking it a little longer this time, one step at a time. Right?
yeah, but you got to understand that there have been we have scored a lot of goals after 70 plus minutes. In fact, we are the second team after Liverpool to make
First goal after 70 plus minutes is a different thing than goals after 70. So you can
No,
score
but-
after 3-0, you are up. Score as many goals as you want in the last 20
I
minutes.
think
Does not
I
matter.
genuinely believe it's an anomaly. It's an anomaly, and you will see it. You have got 6 or 7 matches left.
But with an Arsenal as a title contender, in the last bit of time, I would have expected them to go for the win, but I saw Villa pinning you down for
Because
good
they were
enough
playing
time
well.
and attacking you, right?
Yeah. Because they were playing well, and in the second half they had a number without a doubt. And
Look,
there were a few
I'd
changes.
I'd like just to point one thing. I guess you've already said this, right? They deserve the win. So that's about it. If it comes from an Arsenal fan, we know Villa played well to deserve that. But
Yeah.
the final question, I mean, the final verdict, what I could make of after hearing your opinion is that had it been City instead of Villa, what Amit was pointing out is that is it because of a lack of mentality issue that to persevere throughout the 90 minutes, because the game is not until the over until the final whistle. Had it been a City or had it been a big team, I'm 100% sure that your players would have been up for it until 90 minutes. Since it was Villa, did you take the game a little bit light? कि हाँ जीत तो जाएंगे ही?
No, I would say this, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and it's a little harsh to pin it on a
Okay.
single player, right?
Mhm.
But
But let's just do it.
unfortunately, the way we build up, right? The way we were building up, we were giving all our balls from the defense to Zinchenko, right? And
Yeah.
he was playing with a kind of attitude that okay, I'm above these people, I can do whatever I want and whatnot. Too easy on the ball, and he also lacks a little bit of pace. So he was the reason that Watkins was onside, or everybody
Yeah,
in the
correct.
defensive line, right?
Was
Yeah,
aligned, yeah.
and
But this
he
guy,
should get he should be pelted for it, because if you come out in the media and say it's a final and whatnot, and you're the reason why the team stumbles, you are a senior player, you should stand up. We also had a very big chance in the first half with Trossard, which he missed, which he shouldn't have. Lastly, I genuinely believe a very big problem with Arsenal is because we push teams in the defense, like in the Ds. We do not take enough shots from the outside. We want to do that tippy tappy stuff. Whereas if you looked at what Villa did, which I mean, even as a rival fan, I would have to applaud, is they took their chances. Whenever they got a chance, even from the D, away
Distance,
from
yeah.
the D, some 30 yards off, and they took really good chances. I think
Correct.
that's something we should build on. That's something Arsenal needs to build on.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.